It's the first week of October, and I want to read some creepy reads, some thrilling reads, some scary reads. This week's going to be a setup week that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the month, and I'm quite excited about it. Welcome to the reading vlog. How Long is the Stand by Stephen King? I started this on the first day of September, and I've read 20 books trying to finish it, and I still will not be finishing this book this week, but I am reading another short Stephen King book, Gwendy's Magic Feather. It is the sequel to Gwendy's Button Box, a short novel, perhaps even a novella that I've read twice at this point, and this is a trilogy. Gwendy receives a button box from a mysterious individual, and this box gives its user success, and prosperity. But on this box, there's a bunch of mysterious buttons that correspond to each continent in the world. If you push a button, a disaster happens. And this series follows Gwendy as she goes throughout her life as a young girl, then a teenager, a young adult, an adult, middle age, and it's very interesting. It's very riveting. Already, I'm only about 25% through Gwendy's Magic Feather. I do think it's better than the previous installment. So I have high hopes for that. I'll be reading it I'll probably be finishing that trilogy before I finish The Stand. But The Stand will be done in October because it is spooky season. Thursday, October 3rd, Mean Girls Day. Yeah, I had a pretty good reading day. I'm almost done with Gwendy's Magic Feather. I started another book, The Sleep Tight Motel. It's another Amazon original story. I should be finished with both of those tomorrow. The Sleep Tight Motel tells the story of a girl, and it starts off where she's running away from her husband and from her old life, and she's paranoid, and she's driving on this dark highway with no other cars. So she comes across this hotel, and the innkeeper guy seems really nice. She's the only person at this hotel, but she's starting to suspect that she is not alone, that perhaps somebody is watching her. Is it a psychological thriller? Is someone actually watching her? Is there a grand conspiracy? I'm not sure yet. The audiobook is horrible. I was listening to it in my car ride, and the delivery was just so bad. So I would have finished it in my commute, but I did not, so I'll read it just the old-fashioned way on my Kindle like a caveman. Only thing that bugs me so far about the Sleep Tight Motel is it bugs me when a woman main character is just thinking, and it's like, well, but in this world, that's how women have to be. I feel like it's very preachy when a character's inner thoughts, their dialogue is preaching a certain political ideology, a certain political leaning. If you have a character in the story who's saying those things and it comes off in a very organic way, doesn't bug me. Even if I agree with what you're saying, it's kind of weird for it to be like, I'm running away from my husband, and also women are meant to be demure, and I know this individual was just approaching me this way because I'm a woman, and it just seemed very out of place. But I think this story has got some good things going for it. I'm not gonna lie, the two books I'm reading right now seem a little basic. The plots seem very straightforward. Hopefully there's some twists and turns towards the end, because I hate when I'm reading books where I can guess all the plot points. But I have hope. I have not lost faith. I've been feeling under the weather all week, but today's the first day where I'm really feeling it. I'm going to go to the doctor, get some antibiotics, but I'm having a feeling that since I don't feel well, I'm probably not going to read as much as I want to. So I'm going to try to just finish the two books I'm reading, start some manga, make some progress through The Stand, and have this week be a very good setup for next week. Saturday. So yesterday I mentioned that I was worried that Gwendy's Magic Feather and the Sleep Tight Motel were both going to end up being basic, and I'm happy to report I finished both of those today, and they weren't basic. Both of them seemed like they were going one direction, and the author fixed it towards the end, and that's always good. I'm okay with a story seeming very vanilla, seeming very commonplace, and then making a twist towards the end. Do I wish both of these books were more exciting, more original, in the setup? Yeah, but I'm quite satisfied with the ending. The Sleep Tight Motel, in particular, had a really thought-provoking ending. It was one of those endings where you're like, what the crap is happening? And then everything clicks, and then you have a page and a half to really think about it and let the kind of lessen the entire like puzzle of the story come together, and that was quite nice. Gwendy's Magic Feather was such a cozy read following Gwendy from Gwendy's Button Box. I was anticipating it getting creepy, getting settling, getting unsettling, getting more thrilling way earlier, and it really didn't become a thriller until like the last 10, 15 pages. It was really just like a sneak peek into Gwendy's life as an adult after this very traumatic childhood. It was almost like a Lifetime movie. It was very much a Christmas read. Takes place during the Christmas season. There are Christmas miracles, and there's some sad things that almost happen. I'm very I'm not quite sure why the first book needed a sequel. And I'm not sure if this sequel warrants a third installment because I'm going to be reading Gwendy's Final Task next week. So that way I can get another one of these series that I'm reading out of the way. But yes, this was somehow not needed, but also better than the first installment in the series. I'm conflicted about it. Sunday. The final page count for this week is only 341 pages. I finished 2 books, but since I finished all my planned reads a day early, I did start 2 manga, Change the World and I Am a Hero. Change the World is a thriller mystery, not manga, about an individual who gets body swapped with a serial killer. That looks promising. I look forward to finishing that next week. I Am a Hero is considered one of the best zombie apocalypse manga. And that one's starting off slow, but it follows like a loser manga artist as Japan falls victim to a zombie apocalypse infection. And the 2 books I'm going to be reading next week are Tales from the Gas Station Volume 2 and What Feast at Night by T. Kingfisher. So while this week I did not get too many books read, I read about 100 pages of The Stand. I read 2 books, started 2 manga. So this week, like I said earlier, was a very important setup week for me. We are entering the spooky season. October is looking very much to be looking like it's going to be a very good month. And I look forward to seeing how this month goes. I'm finally feeling a lot better. My sinus infection, ruptured eardrum really was making this week a very exhausting, fatiguing week for me. But the antibiotics are kicking in. I feel very energetic. Thank you guys for watching this reading vlog where I read and I think about things. I love the spooky season. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays. I look forward to seeing how good the reads for October are. This week was okay. Next week's going to be great.